Polarity in Week 6 of Duo Esports, a BSG competitive series. I am here casting with Polarity
He's
in Week
partner
6
in
of
crime. Hey
Duo
everyone, it's
Esports, a
Blaze,
BSG competitive
and we're ready to jump
series.
right into the
I am
action.
here
And it's the
casting with
first place
Polarity
team,
in
Decimate Legacy versus the fourth place team, Polarity.
very swanky way of saying Polarity. I like it.
Absolutely. After last week's matches, Decimate Legacy coming strong off of a victory against Have Faith, but Polarity not so lucky coming off of a loss, I believe, against ESG. So both of these teams are coming into this match on two completely different footings. But if you're Polarity, you're absolutely looking to play upsetter here against the number one team.
Definitely, they just recently have shed their cocoon of being Mermaids United or Myrmidons United, as I believe they were officially called. Not by me though. Now they have become Polarity. They're ready to take on this rank 1 team. Not sure how some of the members here have changed. A lot of them are still very similar from what I've seen. Although they do have a new captain. Let's see if the new management can take down Decimate Legacy, where their old manager is actually playing right now.
Absolutely. It's a different dynamic for Decimate Legacy. They don't have Cosmo Kramer on sports. They don't have Poon Prime in the mid lane. Kaloon's no longer in the jungle. Does this make it a whole new ball game for Polarity in trying to win this, or is this still the monster Decimate that's been destroying teams at the top?
Funpride has played a few games in the jungle. He played those in the early weeks of the series. There's still some information to go off of what he does play. Although I'm sure they were expecting to see him in the mid lane. He has been dominating that for quite some time. Deji's going to have some big shoes to fill if Funpride's moving into the jungle.
Absolutely no need to permaban the Vel'Koz anymore, to say the least, as we get near the end of ban phase 1 and start to see some of the picks.
With Yasuo, what's left open? Araji Biv has dominated with the Yasuo pick in previous games. I'm surprised that was overlooked here in the ban phase. Could be what their first pick does decide to go with. No, they're just going to grab Zac.
So now secure the Zac. Strong engage, strong front line. Taking that away in round 1 is definitely efficient, and Polarity answer with an Ashe pick for pretty acceptable engage, really. Good AD carry, generally all stages of the game, and what else are they going to pick here? Alright, they're going to answer with the Rek'Sai. I've been waiting to see this pulled out. Recently, Rek'Sai's had a slew of changes coming into this, so we're going to see how it's going to be used in this matchup.
Looks like the Yasuo is still going to be taken. And
oh boy.
Still we see the Jhin pick to match this Ashe.
Would be great follow-up engage as well for what Decimate has so far.
Definitely. Jhin does do a very similar job of what Ashe does. It's not he doesn't have the global presence, but he does get to shoot people from a long range. But speaking of shooting from a long range, they're going to not take Jhin and get Caitlyn.
Valuing that siege over the follow-up engage, they have enough to begin with the Zac and the Yasuo. Maybe they'll want a little bit more down in the draft, but we're going to see what Polarity answer with before the second round of bans come through. And it's going to be a Swain for Polarity.
Reflex Tigger keeping us on our toes with that last second pick. It's a good thing they let you go past 0 seconds in this draft.
Absolutely.
Next row of bans here. Both AD carries are taken. It's a good assumption that Yasuo is going to be in the top lane, so they can ban out the support in the top laner on Decimate Legacy. Same for the top laner and support on Polarity, actually.
They're not going to want too much frontline to be against with that Renekton being banned out. See what else they're going to pick. Yeah, they're going to get rid of all the burst, really. Decimate does not need a Syndra on top of the Yasuo that they already have. And Polarity are going to answer it with the Decimate are going to answer with the final ban. Is going to let's see, what do they not want Polarity to have at all?
Lulu is still open here. There could be a good
Think
final ban, or they're gonna get banned the Braum.
Drawing it down until the last second possible. The picks may well be the same story here. But if you're looking at this on the side of Polarity, what are you missing in your team comp so far? You have not the most reliable of Engage, and I'm actually going to pick the Riven here. Very interesting pickup for Apollo in the top lane. This means that the Polarity lineup are lacking a lot of wave clear. They have not really much to begin with at all. They have Ashe, but really that's it.
And there's the Victor pickup. That's going to be the wave clear for Decimate Legacy. They can shove in all they want.
Absolutely strong zone control, effective team fighting, good wave clearing, and they're going to round it up here for the support pick for Ares on the Bard. Even more zone control out of Decimate Legacy.
It's nice to see a Bard pickup here. Will we see a support that can punish a Bard for ever going out of lane to pick up his chimes, though?
A lot of supports were already banned in the ban phase, though with Carmen Braum not on the table, we're going to see what Jarl King's going to go for. It's going to be likely the Lulu for that extra sustain in laning phase in team fights, so they don't get immediately blown up by this composition that Decimate Legacy has. But there are a few glaring weaknesses in the team comp already. Their wave clear is not that amazing. They have decent pick. It's a little bit of everything on the side of Polarity, as to where Decimate have an absolutely terrifying team comp between the Zac Engage with the Yasuo and Victor follow-up.
Definitely, they have the good engage with Pun Pride jumping in there. Then Raji Biv can ult off the knockups. I feel like the Victor and the Caitlyn are kind of just out there on their own. But if Polarity has to deal with a Yasuo Zac, they're not going to be able to focus their resources onto Caitlyn or Victor.
Not at all.
I am hoping I see Reflex Tigger pop up on the Swain pick. I want to see the terror on Decimate Legacy when they just have a massive Birdman running at them who gets wild growth and just whimsied and sprints straight through their team. What do you do against that?
You don't do anything but try and run away if it gets to that stage. And if you're Decimate Legacy, you're looking for that to never get anywhere near that happening, because while I criticize the lack of wave clear that Polarity have, they have so much chase with the Lulu, with the Riven, with the Swain, with the Rek'Sai, and that ultimate being able to lock onto a target now. They have a lot of chase potential. But equally on the side of Decimate Legacy, they have some decent disengage with the Bard ulti. But is that going to be enough to save them if Polarity are able to get to that stage of the game?
If Polarity can take this early lead, it's going to be really tough for Decimate Legacy. They'll have to stall out. They can still reach their power spike even if they do get behind. But it's definitely going to be rough when they've got such a solid amount of engage. If they're stuck in just a 5v5 siege fest, they shouldn't lose anything. But Teshi's going to be picking up everything because he's the only one who's got the massive wave clear.
Absolutely. I want to direct our focus towards the top lane, though. If you look at mid lane, it's a Swain Victor. Maybe not too much will happen there, but Riven Yasuo, that lane's gonna have things happening in a lot of the time. Do you think that the junglers are just gonna leave that lane to whoever outplays who first, or are they gonna direct their focus somewhere else on the map?
Right now, it's looking like top lane's probably the easiest one. They both champions have mobility, but if they use it offensively, they can kind of get screwed over by that. I would be focusing a lot more onto the bot lane here. The only thing that they really have to get by is each laner CC. They're both both bot lanes are just so immobile that you can easily pick up something for free down there. Even if it's just Zac jumping in, picking up a summoner spell, Rek'Sai burrowing behind, picking up a summoner spell.
Absolutely. Between just the Bard ulti or the Ashe ultimate coming out of Black Tornado, there's a lot of follow-up for a gank on both sides. But we're absolutely going to have to see where this goes. Personally, I think we're going to see a lot of action in the top lane just due to the champions. So much mobility is going to have to be expended regardless in this matchup of Riven Yasuo. Riven's going to be using her Q to farm. Yasuo's going to be using his dash to farm, and if any of these laners step a little bit too far for the Zac Elastic Slingshot or Rek'Sai Tunnel to come in, it might just be a one lane on either side.
Yes, unfortunately, direct-to-camera does love the action that's going to come out of both these top laners, so we will be watching that most of the game.
Absolutely. And now we're finally going to be able to jump straight into the action. As the clock hits 0, we're going to see who has the advantage in the loading screen. Some Mastery 6s, some Mastery 7s. Let's see what we get. It's like rolling dice. You never know what you're going to get. A few more seconds to come in here before we get to see what is happening.
Got these nice not connected borders here. Here we go.
There we go, finally.
Seeing some champions. Ares with a Mastery 7 and ISN with the Mastery 6. That's the advantage right there for Decimate Legacy. Unless Dark Apollo and Black Tornado have some good masteries here.
We will see Mastery 4 on Raw GB's Yasuo when we've seen that this guy can pop off on this champion before, so it's a force to be reckoned with, especially with all of the knockups out of Zac that the Yasuo does have.
Ooh, Dark Apollo 4 with a Mastery 7 on the ribbon and the new skin.
And the border and everything.
That's
Tornado's going to be
when you load in.
Last one to load in on this.
Does he have the Mastery 6 or 7 to compete with the Caitlyn?
We're going to have to see, indeed. I'm actually going to want to also direct, it's not even anywhere near before it spawns, but if one of these teams are able to get the Rift Herald, which one do you think has a better chance of doing it? Because on the side of Decimate Legacy, you have Caitlyn traps, you have the Bard zone, you have the Victor as well with his gravity field, but you also have a lot of single target damage that you're able to dish out on the side of Polarity. Who do you think is going to be able to secure that Herald as it comes up later on in the match?
I feel like it's most likely whoever's either it's going to come down to in this league most of the time it comes down to like whoever wins a team fight. It's just there and you take it. If the top lane pressure comes out really hard for one of the top laners there, it seems most likely that it would go to that team. And as much as Polarity can pick it up with their single target damage, I feel like the best team to pick up the Rift Herald is Decimate Legacy. They have the best chance of abusing that. They just throw that sucker down in a lane, send Caitlyn to that lane, and then there goes an inhibitor. With however many towers it needs to go through.
Absolutely. You're guaranteed at least one turret at minimum with that thing. If you're able to keep on pushing, go past the turrets, get some more kills, they're absolutely going to be able to get more. But here we load up into the game, finally. So far looks like, just out of everyone, very standard starts, nothing too crazy. Longsword 3 pots for Apollo in the top lane. Going to want to go aggressive constantly and take that health pot advantage over RGB.
RGB does have the Warlord's Bloodlust, so he will be able to sustain a plus the lifesteal from Doran's Blade, which Yasuo is so good at abusing.
Now we have a pause coming in immediately, as it looks like Decimate were about to invade, but at the same time, nobody on the side of Polarity are too close or in trouble just yet, but the timer's going to tick down. We're probably going to get back in this one shortly, 33 minutes on the clock.
looks like Black Tornado is still having some connection issues. He was the not connected for the longest in the load screen. Right when he showed up, we loaded in. Probably still not in. I assumed he was just shopping for longswords or maybe a nice new pair of shoes, just taking his time.
But while the fact that Black Tornado hasn't purchased yet, do you think that against a Caitlyn, do you think we're going to see the Dorn Shield coming out? It's been a very effective item, or is she just going to try and match the damage output instead with the Doran's Blade?
I feel like a lot of champions do like to take the Doran Shield into Caitlyn. It really helps with Caitlyn's trading habits, just throwing one auto and something back to farm. It really gives a lot of sustain, especially when you want to try to scale up. I don't think Black Tornado is going to be able to dominate enough with a Doran's Blade. The only real way you poke out Caitlyn is with volley.
Pretty much, but they are also equal, essentially, in range. There is a slight advantage by, I believe, 25 for Caitlyn, but against an Ashe, that range difference may not matter too much. As we load back into the game, Decimate Legacy on the invade.
Ooh, Drow King's just sitting there.
Sitting there, don't go up. Believe he spots him going in. They know that it's danger, or maybe they don't. Drow King steps a little bit too close, has to burn his flash to get out of that. May still be in trouble. The Ignite goes down, the autos, the damage is there. First blood, Tawa.
And unfortunate there, Jarl King walked down to the river right when they were walking around into the brush and didn't manage to catch them.
Unfortunate indeed, but that's going to be able for the Caitlyn to have that gold advantage in lane, so when she does back, she's going to be ahead a little more than she may have to be, and Polarity start the game off not how they want to. They're going to have to, just out of the fear that there might be a Decimate Legacy staying there, they're going to start on the red side top half, which means Vastox isn't going to be focusing at all on the top half as we get towards that 3-4 minute marker of the game.
I think Raji Viv started with his Q. He's going to just shove that in while Dark Apollo's given the leash.
Absolutely. So far, it's just a little bit of CSing, a little bit of back and forth.
We got all of our action out of that level 1 invade.
Absolutely. You're a little burnt out. Nothing happening just yet. Looks like Decimate are going to get level 2 first in the bottom lane, just with how things are going. CS is dead even, so anything is possible, but it's not going to equate to anything either way. It's actually a gank in the top lane onto Raw GB. Can they find the kill? Broken Wings is going forward, but they're not going to be able to find anything. It actually goes against Polarity there, as Apollo takes more damage than RGB in that trade.
That sucks. Just barely wasn't able to get into that knockup range to force Raji Viv to flash or, force anything else out of him. And he gets to turn back around onto Dark Apollo right when they're right during the disengage there. Looks like Dark Apollo is struggling to hit somebody.
Starting takes a little bit more damage than perhaps may need be. The gank from Vastox earlier may have just been a little bit too forced. It's not going to cost him too much in this lane. A lot of damage coming back onto both sides, but Yasuo coming out a little bit more ahead in the trade. Both junglers also up there now. Who's going to pull the trigger first as Elastic Slingshot does not land, so nothing is going to happen up there.
Ares is going to get jumped out.
A lot of damage.
Black Tornado's still low.
The net misses, so that means Black Tornado is not going to be too low and can stay in the laning phase without having to be too worried. But definitely shows that the Caitlyn Bard has more trading power than the Ashe and the Lulu.
Raji Viv is really dominating Dark Apollo up top lane. Now Dark Apollo doesn't
Almost
have any health
doubling
like Raji Viv.
CS so far. This is a matchup that we thought would go in the favor of the Riven, as the Nethermore lands in the mid lane. A little bit of damage taken on the side of Teji.
I do really feel like in that top lane that it would go in the Riven's favor, but Raji Biv is just such a strong Yasuo player.
Absolutely
a lot
just
of teams
bullying
just ban that
Apollo
out every game.
around. Managed to get past all of the 3 pots that Apollo had while only going through one of his own and still coming out ahead of the matchup. Impressive stuff coming out of here on the laners of Decimate. The bot lane, we see the CS is just about even for both sides here. Main discrepancy is really only coming in the top lane. They're got a wave advantage for Tigger over Teji in the mid lane, but other than that, it is a-okay for Decimate.
Dark Apollo's probably gonna have to back here really soon. Yeah, there's the recall. Raji Biv's gonna hit level 6 off this wave.
Can he stop it? Oh, he stops the back. That's gonna hurt Apollo so much in the laning phase. He's gonna have to even walk even further just to stop that from happening again. And the CS discrepancy is just growing so much more in the favor of Decimate Legacy in the top lane, doubling him in CS 6 minutes into this match.
And we have the trash talk thread on the Discord. Everybody should know at this point, Raji Biv is not a incredibly nice person. He will do that. He will stop your recall.
Elastic slingshot into the mid lane, though. There's not the immediate follow-up that it may have been wanted, though. It gets some damage. Not the kill, though.
Desi just doesn't have any mana to follow up here. He's level 6, but he's going to need to back really soon. It's going to be the first back for either mid laner.
Absolutely. With the type of lanes that Polarity have, they don't want to create too much action. They just want to play catch-up, especially with RGB destroying Apollo and CS in the top lane. Things are going to settle down a little bit, but they're going to want to punish that Riven as much as possible. Poon Pride in the tri-bush, making sure that all 3 procs are broken. Wings are used, but Apollo's too close to his turret, so they can't get the kill.
Now Raji Biv's just gonna be able to sustain back up with the crit he has, the Doran's Blade, and the Warlord's Bloodlust.
They're absolutely trying to make something happen up here, as they might... No, they're not. They're just gonna back off. I thought they would go for the turret dive, but they know that with all this action, the fast talk has to be somewhere near it, and then the turret dive may not go in their favor. They're gonna back off, reset. Riven's gonna start catching up in CS a little bit more. Still down by 3 waves, but no longer getting doubled.
Looks like Vastok's gonna try to slip into this top lane. They just quit out the control ward, and Raji Biv shouldn't know that he's there just yet.
Not just yet. They're gonna see if they can make it work. The flash Q onto the Riven. Can they find the damage onto Yasuo? Perhaps not, as a little too forced on the side of Polarity results in another gank that does not result in a kill.
That was Vastok's flash that went down, but Raji Biv also having to pop his own could mean a repeat gank coming in. Both junglers have shown they want to pressure the top lane more than anything.
Absolutely. Focus on the mid lane has been pretty even. These guys are going it again. It looks like they're going all in this time as well. Ballet of the Exile popped on the side. Can he find it? No, he can't. Windwall's not going to block it. Turns it around. It's a close one, and Apollo comes out on top.
Incredibly close fight for both those top laners there.
That's going to be the lead that Apollo needed. He was starting to starve in that top lane, but now that he managed to find the solo kill on RGB, he's going to be able to catch up in 6. He's going to be able to go back and be even in items with the Yasuo, so that top lane focus is either going to have to be redirected on the side of Decimate Legacy or tunnel visioned even harder than it already is.
Raji Biv gonna use the teleport to get back up to top lane, try to keep the lead still going a bit in his favor, at least offset the kill by picking up that extra farm that was pushed in.
Simply back in the bot lane. One wave advantage, not even for the side of Decimate. It's going to be caught on up very quickly. Things have been very calm down here, as they do notice that Vanistrox is down there. He actually takes a lot of trade damage. Gonna have to heal that back up. The bot lane of Decimate Legacy staying strong.
Looks like Raji Biv starting to respect what Dark Apollo can do after getting killed that one time. He's hanging back after shoving the wave up.
Caitlyn ulti comes out, just does a little bit of damage onto Black Tornado. A little bit of action in the mid lane, but neither of them have a lot of burst at this stage of the game just yet. There's a little bit of action in the jungle though. Elastic Slingshot lands, that's a lot of CC on the favor of Poonpride.
Poonpride's gonna smite the Scuttle Crab down once Aerie shows up to back him up in this fight.
Absolutely a little risky on the side of Aztecs to be playing like that against the Bard, but more action up in the top lane. I don't believe this is going to be in Apollo's favor this time. Finds the knock-up. It's not going to be a kill, though, as Apollo's going to be able to retreat to his turret right after, but it's a strong health advantage in the favor of RGB.
Having only last breath, that's such a short cooldown. It's about the... it's only rank 1, but it's only about double Wind Wall's cooldown at this point, I think.
Absolutely, and there's also focus from Poonpride in the top lane. They might go for a tower dive on this one. And with a low health Riven, if that Elastic Slingshot lands, which it doesn't, that's maybe a kill. But it may not, it's a lot of health. The shield comes through, the tornado misses, and Apollo stays alive for now.
He does have Wind Slash up still.
The tornado lands, the stun finds it though, outplayed by Apollo, and now Poonpride's going to the top lane, and the dive's gone awry, and that's gonna be another kill. The turret doing some work, double kill for Apollo! The 2v1 outplay, Elastic Slingshot missing crucially there on the turret dive for Decimate Legacy, and Apollo is now 3-0 from that CS discrepancy earlier on in the game, getting doubled 6 minutes in. It's now just back up to even in that of CS, and now he's by far ahead in this lane.
Looks like Raji Biv has finished his Phantom Dance at the same time Apollo finishes his Black Cleaver. Cleaver won't do the most of top lane against Raji Biv, but Raji Biv should be able to keep going with these fights with the Phantom Dancer. Maybe not if Dark Apollo sticks around that red buff, the 2-level lead though.
Only halfway down the timer as well, so could be a little scary. Things are gonna revert to how they were before. Apollo's constantly looking for these trades, but with this time Raji Biv being so close to the turret, it may not happen for either side. Tempered Fate actually lands on to Polarity's bot lane as the Wild Growth has to be loose to keep Jarl King alive. It's gonna keep him alive as well as Ace in the Hole comes through, blocked by Black Tornado, but a lot of damage trading back and forth. And in the top lane, in favor of Apollo, the 3-0 Riven now forcing Raji Biv back, but very close stuff out of the bot lane. Decimate trying to make proactive plays, but just cannot find the kills.
Looks like they're standing around the dragon. They might go for this. It's not the best dragon to build up your advantage on, but if it means that the rest of the team can roam more effectively, it could be good enough to get them the lead.
Absolutely, but with the control that has been able to be accumulated in the top lane, Polarity are now going for the Rift Herald, and it's going to be uncontested as well. You think of the trade that you get an Air Dragon for a Rift Herald, that is absolutely in the favor of Polarity.
Now they might look to get Raji Biv on the top side. They do have a control on his one ward. Vastox is still in the area here, but Raji Biv should be suspecting that.
He's got to be careful. He knows the Rift Herald just went down. If he dies, that'd be catastrophic for Decimate Legacy. He's going to have to play back and respect the presence of that Rek'Sai.
Looks like Funpride's going to give yet another blue buff over to Teji in the mid lane.
We haven't seen a whole lot of action in the middle half of the map. Both of these guys are up in CS, even with each other, as Apollo is completely turned the tables against Raji Biv in the top lane now. It's going to have to find the tornado, but he's actually going all in on this one. That's going to be a potential kill as Poonpride now jumps into. He's in trouble. That's going to be a kill for Vastox, and they're going to go for RG Biv in the top lane as well. He's going to have to run away from this one, but he's running into enemy lines, dashing through the minions, but has no health. Can he get away from this one?
Teji is here to back him up.
A
No, he's going to
few
leave.
more hits would find it. The stun's there. Dashes through the minions. He's giving him some troubles, and he might have just gone out. RG Biv barely making the escape possible. He's still in a little bit of trouble. Will finally get out. Maybe not at all for good. Vastox finds the kill.
And that's a new Rek'Sai ultimate. I did not think that was the range on it. Rift Herald's going to be dropped top lane. That's definitely going to be first tower going out here to Polarity.
Absolutely. Players haven't had the longest time available to get used to the new Rek'Sai. When you get marked by that Prey Seeker, the range is incredibly high in the favor of the Void Rush coming in, and when you're hit by the Prey Seeker, the Void Rush is absolute. Some damage taken onto Jarl King in the bot lane, but they're going to be able to hold the turret. Rift Herald's still pushing though. Poonpride has to interrupt this, but he's got to be very careful. It's been shown before that Polarity are not afraid of diving. And it looks like Yasuo's on the wrong side of the map. A lot of damage coming through. It's a 2v2, and it might just go in the favor of Decimate with one kill. And it's going to be answered back again. So incredibly close stuff as Lulu ulti's loose in the bot lane. A 2-for-1 in the favor of Decimate Legacy, but just barely though.
They also do pick up that bot tower, which almost evens out the gold. They're doing pretty good in the. They got to be doing pretty decent in the farm game here. Yeah, they are doing a lot better on the Caitlyn.
Absolutely.
Be able to make this gold even though Polarity got the first tower bonus gold, and they're up 3 kills.
Only 200 gold deficit in this match, even in turrets, almost even in kills. But if we look at the top lane deficit, is actually 1,500 gold lead for Apollo against RG Biv right now. That's where the gold is on the side of Polarity. The rest, though, is just about even. You look at the bot lane, see it's 152 to 129, not too big of an advantage. Mid lane, 148 to 161. Even top lane, where the kills are making the discrepancy, RG Biv isn't down in CS.
Reflex Tigger is gonna slowly pick up the blue buff. Needs another, drops another crow on it. It's always nice to see a Swain autoing for something. Just trying to take out a buff just with those right clicks.
Absolutely. Needs that blue buff. It helps Polarity so much in this game as a whole. If Swain runs out of mana, he's practically useless, so with that blue buff, he's gonna be able to more freely use his spells in lane. And if a team fight comes around the corner with Infernal Dragon, I believe, up in minute 30, that's definitely gonna play a big role in it.
It should play quite a huge role. Looks like the bot lanes are going to swap the top lane, but the top laner is going bot. Dragon and Baron are up at the same time here. I don't think either team will be able to take it with just their jungler and their bot lane. We'll see what happens with it.
Indeed, Polarity trying to set the trap top lane by making the bot lane of Decimate overextend, but it's not gonna work as now in the bot lane, Apollo's in trouble. Don't think he's going to be able to get out of this one. That's going to be the knock-up as the ulti misses from Poonpride, as that's a lot of damage. It might be the kill, too, for Apollo. As it is, and now Poonpride's in trouble. They're going to be able to not sweep that one up.
And
As here,
Vastox
comes in, they want this arrow. Ulti goes wide, but that is a lot of damage. Has the invulnerability, but it doesn't matter. The blue buff with the Swain is making the damage happen. And now Jarl King's in a little bit of trouble. They're gonna have to pick one side or the other. They decide to go for Black Serena, who's caught in the flash. The trap lands. The kill secured for Wa.
Now
It's not over just yet.
Heal comes out from Wa onto Pun Pride. They're gonna get away with this, but they're still on the
chase. They want to
chase.
keep going for this. The range on Elastic Slingshot is so high, forces the wild growth out, but they have to disengage from this one.
Reflex Sigurd is ignited. He can't just run in bird form. He doesn't have it up just yet either.
No, he can't. Ace in the hole blocked.
That was such a spread out team fight. Fights happening in the Baron Pit and the Dragon Pit for different members.
Absolutely, this is a close one. As Decimate are now sieging for the middle turret. They get a lot of damage and the kill on a Reflex Tigger. A little too close for comfort gives Decimate the kill that they might have just needed. A 3-0-0 Caitlyn was the backbone right now for Decimate Legacy.
Looks like teams are starting to set up around this Ocean Drake. When you've got the Caitlyn, the Victor, the Yasuo, Ocean Drake's not exactly what you want there. It will help out a Victor quite a bit with just the mana sustain. Like, this is a game where you want those Earth Drakes, you want those Infernal Drakes.
Apollo teleports back to the top lane turret, so now they know that that's down, and there is a fight near the Dragon Pit, and whatnot. Apollo's gonna have to roam down with Archiebiv.
Reflex Tigger teleporting into the tower mid lane. He's kind of hoping he would go for that teleport right onto the flank of Decimate Legacy. They had no idea. They don't have defensive wards down.
They don't, but Polarity is staying on the defense. To be very careful. Arrow lands onto Teji. The damage isn't there just yet for a kill, as the damage and CC of Polarity or just cannot find any of the kills so far, but Apollo is here to make that happen. That's going to be 2 kills. Archiebiv's trying to counter as well, as this fight's gone awry. It's in the favor of Decimate Legacy, a 2 for 3.
Reflex Tigger got CC'd so hard, he never got a chance to do anything in that fight. He got pulled in by Pun Pride, and then he got immediately stunned, and he was just there. He had wild growth on him, but it wasn't enough for him to even be able to press his ultimate.
Not all of the CC of Moonbrain just kept him locked down for days. Decimate finding exactly what they need, and RGB trying to go aggressive in the mid lane. He won't be able to find anything, but does get the exhaust out of Jarl King. For just a Yasuo dashing around the mid lane, that is pretty important to be able to get that exhaust.
He does have his 100% crit chance at this point, picking up the Cloak of Agility on top of the Phantom Dancer. Dark Apollo is his opponent in the top lane. Already has the finished Death's Dance to go with a Black Cleaver.
Absolutely, but you have to consider that our Rajibiv is still making plays happen in that last team fight. Apollo came in first, got a few kills, but right after, Rajibiv goes in, plays janitor duty, and helps Decimate Legacy win the fight. So despite the discrepancy that's been building up back and forth in the top lane, Decimate are still coming out on top.
Dark Apollo
Adolf finds Poon Pride not where he wants to be, at least has the help of Astox to get out. A little bit of a scary situation, as Waz now shoving up the mid lane, as in a little bit of action in the jungle as well. They're gonna try and find Vastok, who jukes all of the abilities, gets himself out of that one. He's still getting chased down by 4 men. Ace in the hole might come through here, as there's full vision and almost nowhere for Vastox to go. The Bard Tunnel goes out. That is gonna be a dead Tunnel Snake. Either way you look at it, Rajibiv picks up the kill. They're gonna keep looking for more, actually. A slight miscommunication means that Decimate are just throwing out the style points at Polarity so far. No more kills secured, 10 to 10.
Fun Pride did get a sweet pose when he was jumping in with that E, getting turned golden by Bard. Very nice. That's going to scare everyone on Polarity to go back to base, even.
Absolutely, that's also might just be the turret as well for Decimate Legacies. They push down the middle lane. Yeah, it looks like Polarity are unable to defend. One turret advantage in the favor of them as well. They're going to keep on pushing, but between the wave clear that the Ashe has, they're not going to be able to push on any further. Baron's up on the table, but I don't think either of the teams are too hot-headed, I guess, to go for it now. Instead, they're going to try and find a pick in the jungle.
Raji Bib's going to try to pick up the top tower here. He will get it. And the Ashe arrow is going to go a little bit wide as they don't commit to this fight in the jungle.
Both sides missing a bit of crucial CC. There's action on the mid and the top half of the map as was in trouble, but in the jungle, it's going in the favor of Decimate Legacy. Still, RGB almost taken out good. Can he get away? He finds a 3-man knockup to get the kill onto Jarl King before it goes down as Waz getting jumped. Or Black Tornado, I mean, is getting jumped in the mid lane. If Poon Pride picks up the kill, globally it's a 2 for 3 in favor of Decimate.
Well, I had some great kiting there, and a bit of luck to go with it. Or maybe not too much with how much crit chance Wah has.
We're not done just yet. Apollo finds 2 men again by jumping over the wall. Neither sides are going to be able to pick up anything, though.
But Fun Pride will get out with that blue buff. He does accomplish his objective by taking that blue buff with him and with Let's Bounce.
Absolutely. Denying the blue buff from Tigger is pretty important. Decimate continuing to be able to make these plays and shutting down the teamfight effectiveness of the Swain.
Wah's got an item advantage right now over Black Tornado, having the rapid fire cannon and the static shiv with his Infinity Edge versus the Runan's Hurricane with Infinity Edge.
And a 4,000 gold lead, 26 minutes in for Decimate Legacy. Polarity, they're going to have to make these fights a little bit more decisive. The 3 for 2s, the 2 for 3s, they need to find something, and they might have just found Wah. The damage is there, and the trap doesn't matter. Apollo with another kill now, 10 and 2, and that's going to be the middle turret.
Looks like they're going to start setting up some control around this Baron now, with Wah being down, who's the backbone of Decimate Legacy. You definitely have the advantage they want.
Find the picks, though. They have to be careful of having a Baron against a Zac and a Yasuo. But if they're able to pick one of them off first, then they can absolutely do it. The arrow goes wide for Polarity, so there won't be any kills to follow up. It'll just be mid lane control. "13 to 13. They're standing ground, maybe a little too close though. Jarl King's going to be the first one to go down here as Ares is the one that picks up the kill. This is going horrible for Polarity as Decimate Legacy find 1 kill. They find 2. They're going to find 3 and probably 4 as well. That's an ace in the hole. Finds the kill onto Apollo. And suddenly Polarity stepped way too close. Tigger is only in the jungle now. And that's going to be Baron for Decimate.
Really well done by Decimate Legacy. Right when Polarity had 2 people still mid lane and rotated 2 to Raptors, and they split up just a little bit, they just capitalized on it beautifully and picked up all 4 members.
Tigger's not going to be able to do anything here. He's just playing spectator. If anything, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Actually has to expend his flash for looking a little too close to the Baron pit.
Comes the mid lane siege. With having a Caitlyn with Baron buff is pretty dominant siege with those traps.
Absolutely, they're gonna chip down the turret little by little. They have the zone as well with the Victor gravity fields, and they have the option, if they so choose, to engage with that Zac over the turret.
Raji Bib's gonna pick up the Infernal Dragon for his team while the siege is going on.
It's gonna help them even more with the zone. Stun finds doing just a little bit of damage onto Tigger, which will force him back, and now that's another turret for Decimate Legacy. Now 4 to 2. The gold lead's only growing even more now.
And there's the 5th turret and the engage from Pride onto Vastox.
Here we go, that's going to be a lot of damage. Vastox may not be able to get out of this one at all as the wind wall comes down. Decimate Legacy turn the switch on, and they're looking for another inhibitor turret. Elastic Slingshot goes out, doesn't find anyone this time though. They don't want to overstay their welcome, but they also want to get the turret here.
It looks like they're going to play the game where they just bounce between bot and mid until something comes out of it. Watt could be in a bad spot here with the Dark Apollo running at him.
The rest of his team's there to back him up though, and with those Caitlyn traps, you think this is gonna be the turret for Decimate Legacy. They can step up to it, although they can't defend that turret. They may have to go up the inhibitor. Elastic Slingshot onto Tigger. As the Temperate Fate locks up Ash, that's gonna be a kill on a swing, but Apollo's gonna try and make them up, and he finds Y in the fight, which may mean that Polarity have the upper edge in this. Decimate also might have stayed their welcome a little too long, as Black Tornado is able to find the kills. That's going to be 4 kills probably coming in here, as Poon Pride's now the focus. His passive split into 4, but with 3 members of Polarity on him, he will be going down. He gets the respawn, but he knows it's not going to last for anything. A 4 for 2 in favor of Polarity.
Raji Viv was not there for the team fight. He was pushing top lane now because that was shoving to their tower. He might be able to pick up this tower here. He's the last Baron buff remaining on Decimate Legacy.
He is. That's what he's been doing in the top lane, helping his team get that turret. But still, all in all, it is a big win that Polarity needed for that inhibitor of theirs not to go down. The gold is still immaculate in difference. As Vastox now in trouble, and that's going to be a kill as well for Raji Biv. Polarity stepping a little too close when they think that Yasuo is gone, but they have to respect the damage that both of these top laners are able to do.
And Raji Biv's getting the minions to pressure up the mid lane. He's a little bit surrounded. He does have Ares coming in to support him here, but these two are
may go for a dive actually, but it might have been ill-advised as RGB takes so much damage. I don't believe they can secure the kill though. Maybe they can, as Apollo's on the back half and the rest of the team's there. Glitterlands finds RGB. That's going to be another kill. Now given over to Apollo, 13-4-2. Decimate make another misstep, and that's in the past 3 minutes. They find 6 more kills. The gold lead is still 10,000 ahead for Decimate, so it's a slow climb for Polarity, but they're finding the picks that they need.
Definitely Raji Biv getting a little too overzealous with the split pushing. He does pick up a GA now, so his team will have a good window if he does make a misstep like that again. Oh, I'm assuming this time he's gonna just be like, alright, let's just team fight and kill them all.
On the topic of Guardian Angels, Wa also has one, so the fights just become more and more difficult for Polarity now.
This is probably the best time for Decimate to just walk into the bot lane and try to pick up that inhibitor or a good team fight. They still have such a huge lead. They can make it happen fairly easily, and they don't have any towers to dive down there. There's no Baron spawning for another few minutes.
Looks like that's not their focus just yet, though. With Poon Pride backing in the top lane, they're gonna reset. Maybe they'll go down there when he completes his back, but for now, it's gonna be standoff in the mid lane.
Here's from Decimate Legacy going down the mid lane here. We will have an Ocean Drake up in a minute 20, Baron following that in a minute 50.
And as those dragons start to come up, you have to consider the Baron's much more the focus. If this Decimate Legacy squad manages to get a Baron, they're going to be unstoppable, and those turrets are going to be non-existent between Tempered Fate and Baron. They might be able to end the game right off of that. Elastic Slingshot be in charge. I don't believe Poon Pride's going to go for that. So they keep pushing onward, so they have the siege with the Caitlyn, they have the engage with the Zac, the zone with the Victor, but so far no damage on the side of Polarity.
Polarity's just doing what they can to clear these waves, but top and bot are both going in here. They're gonna have to make a rotation, which might be happening.
Rochi finds Ash, but he may have just made a huge mistake as the rest of Decimate are now going to fall up. It's a fight in Polarity's base, and this is their territory. It may be way too close as Apollo's trying to find a knock-up onto someone. The first kill goes over to Teji in this fight. They finally kill off Rochibiv. Almost an ill-advised fight, I want to say, for Decimate, but they go 1-for-1. They continue on the siege. They find the mid laner in Tigger. The turret's taking hits. Not going to go down just yet. It may slowly fall, though, as the ulti out of Black Tornado's not up. There's no fear of them getting picked off. A few more hits. The turret goes down. The inhibitor's now exposed. Tigger's still down for 15 more seconds. Knockup lands on a Vastox.
Vastox is down.
Apollo's gonna try and make the play happen, but he can't find one. He's gonna go down right after a double kill as Decimate turn the switch on a triple kill. The inhibitor now the focus, and if Decimate keep pushing, that might be game.
They only have Reflex Trigger and Jarl King up. Jarl King still has the ultimate. He's getting the mana to use it now in the base. It could still make something happen here. Wah has the GA.
One. Poon Pride gets a little close, but he's a super tanky Zac. As now Tigger might be in trouble with the Wild Growth. It may not matter unless they pick up the kill. The turret now the focus, and 10 seconds until any members of Polarity are up.
But Pride did manage to get back up. Reflex Trigger dropping to Rochibiv, teleporting in here.
This could be really bad for Decimate. They have to turn their attention to the turrets. As Rochibiv gets way too close, the turret will go down, but the Nexus is the focus. The knockup finds nothing with Tempered Fate canceling out. That's probably gonna be the game. Decimate Legacy turn on the switch and pick up game 1. Well played stuff out of Decimate Legacy. A lot of early action, but the gold lead was just growing too big for Polarity to handle.
Rochibiv actually had the second most gold in the game, just behind Waz Caitlyn. I do believe Rochibiv made some questionable plays that game. He did show, however, he is Yasuo. He makes any play, and it works.
He is not fearless at all to go literally into the enemy base, but when you're without ahead on goals, why not? Makes it a 1-for-1 and allows his team to keep pushing onwards to get the kills. It was actually Apollo that dealt the most damage in the game, but when you compare the total damage for teams dealt, it's still going to be in the favor of Decimate Legacy, as they have just more damage dealers.
Wad managing to do so much damage in those team fights. He was getting really good crits off on his headshots. Seeing him chunk out somebody for about 1,000 damage with a static shift crit. It's insane.
Absolutely, they could not get to Wah in these team fights. And while Apollo did his best to make things happen, the counter from Rochibiv was just there. And Tigger was unable to find ground in the middle lane, which meant that the Victor was able to provide more damage output for his team, and then the rest is history.
Hey guys, don't forget about MVP.
That is game 1 in Decimate Legacy's favor. We're going to get set up for game 2.
Indeed, they're continuing their undefeated streak. Only have lost a single game, not even, and they're undefeated in matches. They're going to look to do the same thing here against Polarity.
Hey guys, you might be forgetting something. Did you guys remember to pick your game 1 MVP?
I was getting to that, Army.
Okay.
Game 1 MVP?
I really want to give it to Rochibiv for having the balls to go for those plays, but I have to give it to Wah for just
yeah,
the
exactly.
team fights.
Wah played the game very smoothly while Rochibiv was making the plays proactively, was back and forth on the top lane of the game. Wah, on the other hand, stayed consistent throughout the game, ending the game 10-4-7 on Caitlyn. We're going to give the MVP to him.
Quite unfortunate. Raji Biv really was doing a really good job out there as well. And just in the end, his team ended up not coming out with the victory along with him. He, I gotta admit, might have gotten an MVP spot just after all that pressure that was happening in the top side.
Absolutely, but we're going to be jumping into the second game now. Polarity, what are they going to ban the Yasuo? I think they have to in this game. If you give it to Raji Biv, you're setting up so much trouble for yourself.
Yeah, there was a lot of action at both top laners in that first game. Really wasn't much pressure elsewhere, but I feel like they definitely need to. Both teams could have more pressure in that bot lane. The bot lane wound up being kind of make or break for that game.
Indeed, it is.
Looking forward to see what happens this game. Will we see more immobile bot laners, but this time see more jungle pressure in that lane, or is it going to be more just raw action in the top lane?
Depending on what they pick, but if you're Polarity, you do not want to see Zac. You do not want to see Yasuo at all. You ban those walking into this next match here, and maybe we won't see the Swain either. It wasn't very effective in the first game. To bring on the second would be a little ambitious, I feel, on the side of Polarity.
I think they could still go for it, but maybe this time have a better team comp for the Swain to shine in. Swain is very strong in a front line, but not as a front line.
Indeed. Decimate Legacy were able to run through the turrets, just make it seem like they weren't there in the first place. So they're going to have to maybe consider that wave clear that I was talking about earlier. They have to consider that as a legitimate option, I believe. They may still want to go for the same comp, but it depends how it pans out here. We're definitely going to see at least a Yasuo ban or a Zac ban. I personally say both. They may have Zac on the table if they want to secure it, though. They are on blue side this time, so that is a perfectly legitimate option as well.
If you guys want to take yourselves a small break in the action, I would suggest now would be a good time to grab yourself some water, bathroom break. The action will momentarily be continued when everybody's set and ready to go.
I will be back in 1 minute, and then I'll grab myself some water.
Alright. I think I'll be doing exactly the same. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Looks like my partner Fred Fredersen has not just yet, but we're going to be jumping into Game 2 in a few minutes here. Will be very interesting to see how much these teams want to have their team comps the same this game. If I'm Decimate Legacy, I absolutely want to try and have another team comp similar to the one which is played, but at the same time, for Polarity, I'm not going to let that happen.
Well, I don't know about letting it happen, as the players will be choosing what they feel like playing based on the round team comps they are going to win. It'll be interesting to see where they go with the team comps. I definitely think Decimate Legacy has some pretty solid team composition for how they made their previous one, how they executed it. It's really well done. They were struggling a bit in the early game, but they managed to pull it off.
The bot lane and top lane making the action happen. Poonpride in the jungle, we thought it would be maybe a shock for Decimate to handle, but he's proven that he's strong in the jungle, and that while we didn't see a lot of action in the mid lane, Teji is very much a solid mid laner, not dying at all in lane actually, and also just playing consistent, not the star getting the kills, the headshots that Wa was getting, but staying consistent, providing the zone, providing the damage that his team needed.
Definitely one of those more background players, kind of like a support. You don't really notice it, but it was very important to the team. He had all the AoE he needed to get off. He did manage to get it off. It wasn't the flashiest. It's not like a Victor going and getting a 1v4 quadra kill or anything, but very solid.
All right, let's go ahead and get this match underway, shall we?
All right. Alright, so here we are jumping into Game 2 of Polarity versus Decimate Legacy. Decimate Legacy, for the viewers just tuning in, won the last match. They are 1-up in the series and looking to continue their undefeated streak. Instantly we see a ban from Polarity. With that, Zach, they don't want to see it. Are they going to ban the Yasuo too?
It's definitely a toss-up. Dark Apollo was able to handle the Yasuo during the laning phase, but Yasuo is Yasuo. He's gonna scale up even if you can keep him down early.
So I go.
Looks like they're gonna keep the Shen ban. Shen is a very annoying top laner to play against. You can keep him pressured in, but he will just go wherever he wants, and they will ban Yasuo.
They will ban the Yasuo, alright. So there goes the knock-up, crowd control, damage, CC. And everything that Decimate had last game, they're going to have to readjust their strategy, as that's no longer a viable option for them with those two bans gone. Neither team wants to see AoE here, with Amumu being banned as well.
Amumu is a bit of an unseen pick, but he's still a very strong one if you can land those bandage tosses.
Right.
And they're gonna ban the
wow.
Caitlyn as well. That's
Wow,
three bans
actually
from the competition
forcing a Caitlyn ban. He played very well on that. As Decimate answer with an Anivia ban. Now we're gonna see the picks come through. And they're gonna lock in the Twitch. Alright, this is interesting. We've seen this pick pop up every now and then here and there, but whenever it does show, it makes a huge impact. Decimate now hovering the Blitzcrank. They might go for it to snag that rat, but
I believe they're just doing this to troll Ares. He has shown it once before, but I believe you mentioned he doesn't really play the Blitzcrank too much.
So they're gonna lock in the Elise for Poonpride when in the same rotation. Interestingly enough, they might also go with the Ahri here, a very strong assassin-y control mage in the mid lane. So far on the side of Decimate, we're looking at a lot of CC between the Charm and the Cocoon.
Very interesting. Last game, Polarity had both the Elise and the Ahri banned out. This time they're gonna leave them open to ban out the previous team comp, but Decimate likes to just grab them right away.
Go with the Riven again. Had a strong performance against the Yasuo win at last game. Gonna do it again, possibly this game. Could be a mid lane Riven for Tigger, but with Apollo's performance last time, probably not, as now Galio's locked in. That's also probably going in the mid lane.
And Renekton picked up Haraji Biv, and we are on the second ban rotation. Riven against Renekton. I might play a lot of top lane, but I have no idea how that's gonna go.
Decimate Legacy banning away the Braum. They don't want Jarl King on that strong CC champion to complement the Gallia that they already have in there. If you're Polarity here, you've already gone away the picks that caused you the problems last game. What do you ban now? What do you not want to see it whatsoever coming into this game? So far it's gonna be the Lulu. The Karma answered right after. She's not gonna be making an appearance at all this game. And Bard is well banned from Polarity. It's about everything they didn't want to see last game, and with the Braum, with the Karma, with the Lulu banned, and now the Nami picked, what's Jarl King gonna play?
I gotta say, for Teji, he's gotta be pumped up this game. They banned the entire team composition from the previous game except his Victor. If that doesn't pump up somebody mid lane to really just snowball this game, I don't know what will.
I don't know either. Is
Nunu locked in.
Gonna go with the Nunu. This looks to maybe be a protect the Twitch team comp so far, as they have a lot of ways to aid that Twitch automatically between the Nunu, between the Galio. Let's see what they're gonna round their composition up with. A lot of the supports have already been banned. What's it gonna be? It's going to be the Zillion pick, actually. Very unique pick, able to, I guess, keep the members of Polarity alive against the catch potential of Decimate. This is a full-on support the Twitch team comp, excluding the Riven, I guess, but even then she's there for backline disruption. As Decimate rounds up their comp with the Ashe. Nami lane, a strong lot of CC, a lot of, between the Elise, the Nami, they have so much CC to follow up for a gank. Where do you think we're gonna seal the action in the bottom half of the map, or is something else gonna happen maybe?
I'm not sure where to expect the action. Is Vastox has the Nunu pick. It's not really able to do much except to enhance his allies a little bit and get a slow on people. He's not going to be able to put in much pressure around the map and accomplish much. They definitely picked that just so for their late game, once they can get Black Tornado strong, to just slap a Blood Boil on him and watch him go to town on the entire line of Decimate Legacy. Unpride's going to be able to get the work done wherever he really wants it. Vastox looks for it, though. He can definitely try to deny Punbright his jungle, get the advantage going.
Absolutely. I want to say most of the action is going to be in the bot lane, because if you're Decimate Legacy, you do not want that Twitch to get to late game. You don't want that Nunu to get to late game. That get everything on the side of Polarity you do not want to see in the late game stage, because then you have the Nunu with so much health regen, with the Warmogs, and potentially a Ocean Dragon or a few more as well. You have the Riven with elements damage. You have the Zillion and the Twitch. You don't want to see that hit late game. So I'm going to say you want to create action in the bottom half of the map. You want to get your bot lane to hit level 6 first, force the play. You have the Ashe ult, you have the tidal wave, you have more than enough crowd control to lock up the members of Polarity.
Ooh, definitely good for Polarity here. It looks like Raji Biv took Ignite this game on his Renekton, so he's not going to be able to follow up any play that really comes into the bot lane. As Vastox, if he does manage to get a flank off, can easily be a way in for Reflex Tigger to go in there, and they can try to get the Twitch ahead that way.
Indeed. Also, I think that is a teleport as well coming in for Teji. So a much more defensive summoner spell in the mid lane. Perhaps to match the Galio as well, so we're going to see a lot of cross-map action. And if we're speaking from a global perspective, Polarity have the advantage because RGBiv does have that Ignite. He has more kill pressure in lane, absolutely, and we'll see what that can equate to, but if he's unable to make use of that Ignite effectively, then the cross-map plays are absolutely in favor of Polarity here.
Definitely in the favor of Polarity by quite a bit. I think Vasok's best chance of making anything happen on his own is gonna be onto Raji Biv. Raji Biv not being able to get back to lane. If they do force him out, it could easily be a Rift Herald going over or just a tower.
Absolutely, but you have to consider the counter jungling play that Nunu's going to be able to make here. He's probably going to be annoying to Poon Party. He's not going to be able to make too much happen in the lane, but I definitely think we'll also see some jungle action. At least not being the hardest champion in the game to counter jungle. We'll see what this equates to. 30 seconds left on the clock before we get into the game.
I think the best thing for Vasok's in that matchup, if he does run into a bad situation with Pun Pride, he can always just eat a Spiderling and run away. He does have the option of just nomming on one of those and walking out.
Absolutely. And if you're Elise and you're in human form, and the Nunu's chasing you down, you have to go into Spider form if you want to fight or flight, so either way, we're going to see what this Nunu pick can equate to. So we're going to be jumping on the loading screen any second now to see who wins out on the Mastery and Skin Wars. And this match, like all of the matches, has a significant impact on the standings, because I've been harping on it for a while now, but Decimate Legacy are still undefeated. Now, also, I believe later on today there's going to be the Guardian Gaming versus Half Faith matchup, the battle for second place. Even if, let's say, Polarity win this matchup, they're able to take a game off of, say, they're able to win the game here and just pick up a game. Then you go to the standings. If Have Faith 2-0 is Guardian Gaming, suddenly you're in a position where you might just be tied for first place.
I believe that's the game that I believe Guardian Gaming's game is happening tomorrow. We did have a reschedule Tuesday night, but that is ESG in all one lane. Next up, we're gonna have Never Back Down against Anima United.
All right, well, we're jumping into game 2 here. We're gonna see, can Polarity play upsetter here, taking off a game, maybe a series? Or is Decimate Legacy going to continue their undefeated streak in matches? Let's go.
Starting off the game, Euro King puts a bomb on Dark Apollo. They're ready for the suicide bomb in these team fights. It looks like this time was taking the time shopping. Is this just a recurring Ashe thing?
Indeed, maybe another connection issue in the game would be about ideal for this to be a pause time here again, but we'll see how it works. There's a corrupting potion in the mid lane for Tigger over the Doran's ring and 2 pots. We're gonna see how that works out.
And Waz out of the base. It's just those Ashe players who like to take their time choosing their Doran's Blade. They gotta get the best one out of everyone the shopkeeper has.
They think, do I go for the Doran's shield? Do I go for the blade? Do I go for the shield or the blade? It's like picking away flowers. She loves me not. Until they eventually find their conclusion. It's gonna be the Doran Blade for Waz this game. And Decimate on the aggressive here. They know that they're there, though. Polarity aren't going to step too far forward.
Well, it looks like Pun Pride's circling back in for another ward. They want to be able to catch Vastox out and see where he is, know if there's an invade coming.
But with that knowledge now, they probably have a very good idea that he's starting on the bottom half of the map. And it looks like Poonbar's actually going to be starting the Raptors without any assistance. Maybe Teji threw a Q over the wall, but that's all he's going to get. That's going to significantly slow down his clear time from all that fumbling around earlier on.
And it looks like Vastox is going to walk straight in for the blue buff, I would assume, here.
Just going to counter jungle the Elise. May even expect to run into her, but she's on the opposite side of the map, taking her red buff, so that's going to be a easy blue buff steal away from the Elise. Vastox already with some decent counter jungle.
With a standard clear 4 Elise, being the Raptors into the red buff, it is a pretty easy counter jungle. Although Punpride might be expecting it. He looks like to be on the Scuttle Crab. I don't know if he will try to take Vastox's blue. They know he didn't start it. He might try to just catch him out there.
Indeed. So far, not even 3 minutes into the match, CS is just about even on all sides. Laner's able to find the CS properly. A little bit of trade damage onto Apollo. But he knows that he's safe by his turret.
Funpride will pick up Vastox's blue buff, so this is going to be a blue trade for both junglers. A little bit of a slow rotation going from your start to their blue buff.
Neither side trying to make too much happen just yet, but Decimate on the offensive, able to bully Black Tornado away from the CS wave. It'll be going into his turret, but health advantage once again for Decimate. Ares on this Nami's able to zone effectively.
Definitely, with Wa having a volley harass and Ares having whatever kind of a harass Nami can throw, pretty much every ability. And they definitely have the zone power on a Black Tornado. Keeping him down early is going to be huge.
Indeed, up about 1 wave right now, but he has a big wave in the turret that he can get. We'll see how much of it he can pick up. Things are going to be much calmer than last game, so far to say the least, between the Nunu, between all the safe laners, really, that Polarity have running for themselves. The Galio can safely sit back in the mid lane, doesn't have to get too close for an Elise gank or an Ahri charm with that Winds of War.
Looks like, yeah, pretty much similar to last game. You know, just the casual invades and then back to the farm.
It's actually going to be a gank in the top lane. It's just a little bit of damage. Just in the bot lane, Poonpride tries to answer the same, but it has the exact same outcome. A little bit of damage onto Ares is all that they find. Both junglers counter-jungling each other as well.
Ooh, Raji Biv not gonna hit the stun on the Dark Apollo.
He's gonna have to flash this, maybe first blood, and Apollo makes it happen again. Solo killing Raji Biv in the top lane against the Renekton and one of the more beefy top laners, but he's able to make the kill happen. And he's already up a wave.
I'm crying for Raji Biv right now. The tiniest misclick made the difference in there.
And the tiniest misclick may also be exactly what helps Polarity escape a gank from Poonpride in the bottom lane. So far his ganks have not been effective and they've just revealed his presence.
This top lane is entirely in Dark Apollo's favor now. Raji Biv and about both summoners. They're not getting anything out of Dark Apollo. Dark Apollo is now up a level, doesn't have to, he still has to teleport to pressure another lane, or even if he gets bullied out, can just get back to lane. Well, Raji Biv has to start walking back.
Has the Phage, the cloth armor and boots, so has a bunch of stats and damage, movement speed, and defense as well over Raji Biv. You have to consider without jungle pressure, if that same situation again happens top lane, especially with the level advantage, it may just be another kill for Apollo. Gonna see what this equates to. He's battling. There are minions doing damage in Battle of the XL versus Dominance. It's a little close, and it's not going in Apollo's favor. Gets the kill barely. Roger was staying alive on almost no health.
That was a lot more damage from Windslash than I expected, or Ra expected there. Incredibly close fight, but Ra's gonna be able to offset the disadvantage he had with that.
Yeah, the cloth armor not enough to keep him alive there. And now there's a little bit of action in the bottom lane. Aqua Prison lands on a Jarl King. The exhaust goes down onto both of them as well. No
Keto
kills
from Black
from
Tornado's gonna let Jarl King just get away.
Like, all that we have to consider though, if you're Poonpride, I think you want to direct a little bit more focus on the top half of the map. There's been action going up there, back and forth now, and with a Tiamat now, answered, Roji Biv might just have the advantage, but with that item active, but he's still down in CS significantly against Apollo.
Apollo did blow teleport right after that fight happened to get back up there and try to keep the lead going in his favor. He's going to keep a 12 CS lead.
Topic of CS leads, actually, all of the bullying that's been happening in the bot lane has equated to a CS advantage by about 3 waves, almost 4 Decimate Legacy here, so they do have an advantage in the regard. They weren't able to secure any of the kills in the bottom lane, but they were able to mount enough pressure for a CS lead to be built up here for Wa, who's going for that Blade of the Ruined King. A little bit of action in the top lane, and Renekton starting to get tankier. The trade goes just about even, but we saw how that trade went initially without any of the trade back from Apollo. Things are still very back and forth, despite it being 1-1.
Dark Apollo is going to have to start showing that he can farm this under tower. Raji Biv just has the power to keep it shoved in with that Tiamat, with his spin, just keeping it up.
Absolutely. 700 gold lead for Decimate Legacy now. Not a whole lot, but 9 minutes in, not too bad either.
Looks like Punpride's going for the Ocean Drake solo here.
Indeed, and Vastox on the other side of the map, that's going to be the Dragon for free. They still have wall farming safe in the bot lane. It's going to be the Ocean Dragon going over to Decimate Legacy.
Polarity just doesn't have the wards. They have some wards around there, but Decimate Legacy has a nice control ward set up on each of the entrances of the river and on the dragon directly.
Absolute charm lands. It's gonna be a little bit of damage back and forth. Not too much happening in the mid lane. Cocoon lands, but they're not gonna go for anymore. That's a very tanky Galio.
When you've got when you have an AP mid laner and an AP jungler, it's not really gonna amount to much against a Galio. He's so tanky against those AP champions.
Absolutely.
Looks like Reflex Tigger is looking to go up for Dark Apollo with the ultimate.
That heroic entrance can make a bad play turn from one thing to another very quickly. So far we haven't seen any roaming out of either of the mid laners. They're both willing to shake hands and take waves from each other back and forth.
Looks like Punpride's now going to just make a rotation to the Rift Herald, and once again, Polarity doesn't know.
I think they might find out Apollo's nearby, but they're still going for it. Now they find out the ruse. That's a lot of damage on Apollo. He may go down from this one, and he is going to go down. So far, 1-0 for Decimate, but they trade back right after onto Punpride. This fight's going in the favor of Decimate Legacy. Either way, a double kill for Rojibiv, and just like that, a 3-for-1. They may not get the Rift Herald, but they find the kills, and they tip this game back in their favor.
Getting the double is huge for Rojibiv. He should have about enough gold down to finish his item. He looks like he does, whether he wants to go for Ravenous or Titanic Hydra after that Tiamat. Or maybe just start doing the Renekton build where he goes into the Black Cleaver. Either way, he will definitely be reaching a very strong point for his build right after his next back.
Absolutely. Now 3-1-1. Apollo again, despite a strong performance in the top lane, getting the first blood. RGBiv just managing to find the opening that he needs, whether it's in the top lane or in the river. They're able to get the kills and able to get him at Aqua Prison lands, but it's just going to be a little bit of damage onto the side of Polarity. Teji's going to use that teleport in the mid lane. Tigger has done the same, so these mid laners back at it with farming. Neither of them need to make plays happen either. If you're Gallium, maybe you want to consider using that heroic entrance if there's perhaps a rough situation in the top lane, but at the same time, if you're Teji, just do what you did game 1. You know, if you manage to keep getting kills, you're already 2-0 and 2. If you manage to find more, great, but just keep it safe, keep it solid, keep it clean. That's what Decimate's looking to do. Two members actually on both sides hitting 100 CS and a little bit higher. 13 minutes into the match. Poon Pride finds Vastox in the jungle. Doesn't hit the cocoon though, so that may not equate to everything just yet. There's no balls able to keep him safe from that one. Apollo's now going to try and find something, but he can't find it just yet. As Dominance gets popped by Roji Biv, this could go horribly for Polarity as they start to show up a little bit more. Vastox's going to be the first victim of the fight. The arrow lands onto Apollo, so that's going to probably work out into another kill as he tries to escape. Can he do so? The Blast Cone's going to mean that he gets to cover some distance. The flash forward. Eventually they're going to pick him off, so they're going to find the kill. The Battle Bunny cannot escape. That is another kill for Decimate Legacy.
Reflex Ticker does manage to get out of that, though, just barely. I see now why.
Oh, action in the bot lane. Spray and Pray Pop, but they're not focusing well just yet. Now they start to. Is the damage there? The Expunge does get popped. It's a 1-for-1. 80 carries kill each other. The supports are just going to be a standoff as the middle turret goes down. Close stuff, but you feel if Black Tornado may be focused, why immediately that would have been him getting away with his life for the 1-for-0. Either way, it's the 1-for-1. If you're Polarity, you take it, to say the least.
It looks like Teji is going to be pushing this bot lane turret with Ares. Fun Pride is in the area here. Black Tornado is not going to be able to rotate that in time. And they're going to start setting up for this next dragon, which is spawning in 20 seconds. It is an Infernal.
At this stage of the game, if either team can get Infernal, they'd be more than happy. The arrow from Wa comes through as the rest of Decimate Legacy collapse. It is a tanky Galio, but is he tanky enough to take anything? No, he's not. That's a kill over to Poon Pride now, and that's probably Rift Herald as well.
Looks like they're not going to choose to go for the Infernal Drake. They want to pick up that Rift Herald while they can to make these towers drop. They are already up 2 towers, or they're going to just put the pressure in the mid lane here. Probably rotating afterwards here.
Some more action top lane, but nothing going to happen just yet this time. The Riven has enough mobility, but Poon Pride soloing the Rift Herald. That with a 5,000 gold lead and maybe a push down in this top lane, Decimate's starting to get that lead. Polarity might be getting a little sloppy here. Roji Bib's actually going to go for a turret dive here. Pops the Ignite. The flash away from Apollo. Doesn't have the Valor Shield up just yet, so the kill's not going to come through, but still very close stuff. Roji Bib wants this when he's telling Poon Pride, hey, get over here, I want him dead. But he gets stunned up and the blade gets him. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Close stuff happening on the top lane. Maybe a little bit of impatience out of Roji Bib. Turns it into a 1v1. It's still shutting down Apollo, though.
He had proxied the wave. He could have taken the time to just wait it out, let the wave come up to tank the tower for him, and not having to take those extra tower shots.
Either way, it's going to be the... Oh, some action in the jungle. Double bomb does not find, nor does the charm. There's still a lot of damage and a lot of slows coming out on the side of Polarity as they try and find their 5th kill of the game, and it may just happen here. No, it's not a kill cleanly just yet. Another 1-for-1. Teji making the best of that situation.
But Decimate Legacy's bot lane is going to be able to pick up Black Tornado during all that action in the jungle.
Indeed.
And now Poon Pride's rotating down for this dragon. They're still down the entire bot lane of Polarity. Vastox is up, but they already denied the blast cone. He's not going to be able to jump in to steal this dragon.
Have the vision of it. He has flash if they really wants to go for a smite steal on it. It's in full vision of Polarity. Flash consume smite would be actually more than enough against the Elise, but they're not going to let him do it. There he is. He tries to find it. Flashes in. Can it not get the consume though? So that's going to be the kill going over to the dragon going over to Decimate Legacy. 5-13.
They still have the Rift Herald. They're going to drop it in the mid lane and try to force down the second tower and maybe more. Raji Biv is down bot lane on Black Tornado. Well, Dark Apollo is just trying to show up top lane and maybe return something.
Absolutely. Rift Herald charges into the turret. They're unable to defend that. As it looks like RGB is going to go for another turret dive. We're going to see if he can get out of this one while the focus is on to Jarl King in the mid lane. Teji is able to pick up the kills. The GA gets popped. It's going to be another kill. Volley picks it up. And Decimate keep pushing.
And Raji Biv managed to take out Black Tornado. He's pushing in the bot lane while Decimate's just
men
on
down.
the scene.
Cocoon lands as well on the side of Decimate Legacy. Rift Herald still alive in all of this. That's the inhibitor going down 18.5 minutes in. And the bottom turret also going down. Looks like the turret dive worked for Raji Biv. Down there as well. They find a Cocoon on and Charm on to Apollo. That's going to be a kill. No, it won't. A 1-for-1 in this situation. Teji's now going to be looking to try and get out of this one.
He is going to be able to just walk out of this one. He does have his team right there in the jungle. Vastox gets charmed.
Get it killed. There's no mana on Nunu. Almost no health as well. Everything going right for Decimate Legacy, and again with a 10,000 gold lead and full map control. Polarity have yet to pick up a turret.
30 seconds until the Baron spawns. At this point, Decimate Legacy is probably strong enough if they're able to get a good team fight to just do the Baron.
Absolutely, and with that Ashe, that Nami, basically the entire Decimate Legacy squad, you're going to have to consider how hard it's going to be for them to get into the pit, let alone try and steal the Baron. With Flash down for Vastox, it's going to be even harder for him to get in there as well. So the Consume Smite may not even come through.
And with the inhibitor down, that's going to be constant pressure going to the mid lane. Polarity doesn't know Decimate Legacy has started the Baron.
No idea this is happening. A 20-minute Baron might just be served up here for Decimate Legacy. Has 4 mana on it, and Raji Biv's keeping Vastox occupied. They have the damage, they have the health to take care of this Baron, and that is full control driver's seat for Decimate Legacy. They're going to try and find a pick as well. Cocoon doesn't land onto Apollo, but they're pushing top lane.
Dark Apollo's going to steal the blue buff with the wind
Oh no,
slash.
he secures it with the Blade of the Exile, so securing the blue buff onto the Riven, not letting it go over the Elise, but that's still a Riven ulti down. That's a large portion of Riven's damage now off the table, but they don't want anything more going over to the side of Decimate.
Raji Biv's doing the wolf camp right now. He has no way to teleport into this. He's probably going to walk to the bot lane here and have this be a 4-0-1 split or 3-1-1 split.
Oh, there's a flash in from Tigger. He's going to be able to find Nami, and that's going to be it for now. Decimate Legacy are trying to get out of this one as the GA is on to Tigger. He's not going to go down just yet. The flash forward, Teji times it perfectly as the Cocoon now lands on a Vastox. They're not going to get any more kills just yet.
Polarity has minions on their Nexus tower here while Decimate's on the top tower. They can't save this tower.
Pushing on the bot lane. The Ashe ulti comes in. It looks like it doesn't find anyone. If they keep this up, Decimate might be going 2-0 in the series.
Inhibitor does drop in top lane. Here's the rotation from Ra.
Inhibitor turret is so low, they just have to throw the autos onto it. That's going to be the first Nexus turret going down. They'll have their sights on the second. Tidal Wave comes through, a lot of CC on Avastox as Jarl King gets blown up.
Black Tornado has a
trying to make the play happen, but
he's not a good one.
Squishy.
Not enough.
Not enough. The second Nexus turret goes down. Apollo tries to make the play happen, but he cannot. That's going to be a 4th kill, a 5th kill likely coming in here for Decimate Legacy as they 2-0 Polarity and continue their undefeated streak.
Not a single tower lost by Decimate Legacy. Played their rotations really well. Took everything on the map that was there for them to take.
Absolutely. Just beautifully played and woven by Decimate Legacy as they pick up the 2-0. Really, I feel who do you give MVP to that game, or maybe even in the series? To that, I'd say, really, I feel if you had a very strong performance in the first game, but you compare the top lane performances out of Raji Biv, I feel like you give it to him here.
I definitely feel like Raji Biv put in so much with what he was doing on the map this game, completely dominating top lane. Then when the rotations came out, he wasn't there with his team, not even having teleport to do it, but he was still going for like the tower dives when he killed Black Tornado bot lane, then gets the tower for his team while his team's doing the Rift Herald push. Just the win condition for Polarity was just taken out in that case. They weren't able to get the Twitch strong. They weren't able to get their composition to go off.
Decimate were in full control. They did not let that game get anywhere near the 30-minute marker, finishing the game 22 minutes and 43 seconds in.
So we got ourselves a Game 2 MVP. Not bad, guys. Not bad. So let's have our decision for the series MVP.
And Raji Biv, to me, played the most like Decimate Legacy overall does. You know, you saw him at the end of the game, lying down in the enemy base, just chilling there. You know, it's just a casual victory for them. He goes for those hard plays. He keeps saying, come back when you find all the bits of yourselves. I got to give it to him for the series overall. Just the perfect Decimate Legacy player right there.
Absolutely. Just really the embodiment, so to speak, of what Decimate is, you know. A little bit of back and forth, but then full domination right after. I'm going to say as well, series MVP over to Raji Biv in this one.
Wait a minute, both of you. I've watched this game the whole way through here, and I saw Raji Biv on his Yasuo and Raji Biv on his Renekton here, and they both did it. Like, he did his clawback, he did his comeback in game 1, and with his Renekton here, he did make mistakes here, make mistakes there. He did that on several occasions, but he kept himself into the game, and that's one of the big things to have happen. But let's not overlook this ADC again this time around. Let's say that maybe Ashe should be a little bit more considered here. Consistently throughout the entire time, playing very well. The only thing that probably went misfortune for Wa was the fact that he had a few ultimates that didn't exactly connect as well as he wanted to, as well as in some regards didn't exactly make a lot of big plays off of the ones that he tried to set up here. But I feel like you guys are giving just a little bit too much credit to Raji Biv here, who did, he was behind and clawed his way back up, and in the beginning stages also fell behind a little bit too, until he got a lot of big triple kill plays to get himself into the game. If anything, I would say that Wa might, in a way, deserve a little bit of a second opinion here. So give it a second thought, guys, please.
Give it a second. I mean, Wa played the series very well. 10-4 on the Caitlyn in the first match. Definitely showing up perhaps a little better than Raji Biv in the first game, and played very solid on this Ashe in the second, 5-1-5. So he's also a very big contender as well. If we really want to give Wa the credit, don't get me wrong, he played absolutely very well in the game, but he had a lot of things stacked up in his favor at the same time. Nunu never came bot lane at all in the second game, and there was the consistent pressure that him and Ares were able to build up just meant that the laning phase was a smooth ride for him. So while I can absolutely see reason to give Wa MVP of the series, I also have to say that Raji Biv was the focus on a lot of situations. He died to first blood both times by Apollo, but he picked himself up right after. I think just the whole squad of Decimate played very well, so it becomes a little tricky. Who do you give series MVP for when no one really no particular member is playing poorly, really.
True stuff. I mean, it is a bit of a decision that seems to be quite down in the middle. Definitely, you guys seem to be quite pretty confident in the Raji Biv situations, considering what he did in the toughness of what he's got. So I just wanted you guys to give it a second thought over to our team,
Yeah.
Kerry Wah. But if you think G Biv gets it, then I won't refute it any further.
What do you say, Fred Fredersen?
I definitely feel like it goes to Raji Biv. We talked about him in the first game. While Wad did get the MVP for the first game, Raji Biv still did a lot in the first game, and he was the only member to me in the second game at all that really came through and shined through it.
And then there it is. Why you played a great, stellar series, but maybe the next series you played great. All of Decimate played really stunning as well. Teji, for his first performance here, definitely a very clean mid game, very clean laner. Same thing with Wa, really, but I think with just the action that RGB was able to happen, getting first blood of both games, I think he deserves series MVP.
Yeah, Teji had some great plays in that second game, making some of those fights happen in the jungle with how he was getting his CC and mobility off, all of his damage off. But I just didn't. I feel like I didn't see him game one. He still did good damage in the first game, but it was just so unimpactful overall. There's a lot of flame between the teams in the Twitch chat. Let's keep it going. Keep it going, guys.
Well, I definitely, for some people at home who think Raji Biv doesn't get the MVP here, I try to give a second opinion here. And Wah, who's been not only ignored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now 6 weeks in a row for Decimate Legacy, I'm afraid to say in this circumstance is that once again he will continue to be ignored. Raji Biv! Congratulations, man. Enter into the general lobby when you are ready to get your interview going. And hopefully no hard feelings, my friend. Get into the general lobby right off the bat so these two beautiful casters can give you some well-casted questions.
All right.
When you get around to it, Raji Biv, jump into the general lobby so that way we know you're ready and we can move you right into the caster lobby for the interview.
Indeed. Just a very solid performance in both games. Despite getting first-blooded both times by Apollo, who, out of all of the members on Polarity, but I would say played the best out of them all, tried his hardest to make the plays happen. Raji Biv just counter. Shuts Apollo down the moment he starts to get going. And well, that still wants it. He's in the general. He's like, guys, bring me in.
Hello. I came for my MVP. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You deserve
You're not
it too. In a lot of
Yo,
respects,
hold on.
you deserve it.
Before we continue. Yo, what's y'all beef, man? What's y'all beef, man? I want to know. I want to know.
You still got MVP game one. You get yourself a nice little silver sticker right there.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't feed my family with no silver sticker, bro. Come on, bro.
I don't know. These two guys are, I guess, top laner.
You're just
names
not
or something.
defined up
You guys
right.
definitely have some favoritism to Raji Biv. Where Wah, for 6 weeks in a row, just can't seem to get over the hump of MVP.
Yeah.
What? Hey, I believe I specifically said Raji Biv is the just epitome of a Decimate Legacy player. He just during the last push, he's just lying down in the base, just watching his team do the work.
See, what you guys see is different, man. It's like Raji Biv is like when you like Raji Biv is garbage. I honestly don't see what you guys see. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man.
He got a lot of kills at the end of the game here. He kept himself in the game lively for game 1 and game 2. I do agree with what you're saying, though. I believe consistency is what decides games, and you clearly were consistent from beginning to end, where Raji Biv literally had to claw his way out of bad situations. multiple
But-
times. But sometimes that does give you an MVP because a lot of top laners in some regards usually don't get that chance to climb out of there. But it's
Mhm.
because of other teammates that make that kind of situation
let me
happen. And I
let me
think
put it
that's
in
why
this.
you get-
Let me put this in this. Let me give you this point of view.
Okay.
Think about it.
Alright.
Mhm.
If we're stumping hard as a team, do you think I'm gonna show? Do you think I'm gonna show up at all? Like, do you think I'm gonna make a flashy play? Nah, it's like
No, you don't
it's-
have to.
I'm not exactly. I don't have to. I'm not gonna show up. I'm not gonna show up like something that's like. If we're all doing well, I'm never gonna show up. It's not gonna look like I did anything just because everybody's doing really well.
I know.
The first game, the only reason I signed or did even the most damage is because we started off rough and our top laners actually fed. You know,
You're not wrong about that. He technically
You're
was down
not-
several kills.
You're not wrong about that, and by all means, congratulations to your team in the victory, and you stayed consistent for weeks and weeks over.
I know.
Just-
I just want this MVP.
I know. You played it, and you played
No,
very
you know what?
well.
You know what? No. I can't take it anymore. Wad does
Alright.
deserve this. I'm going to supersede your guys'
Oh yeah,
decision
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I
I was
say
told-
Wad's here. Raji Biv is off somewhere else. He's already in here. He's already in an interview
My
for
nigga.
Pete's sake.
All
You know
right.
what?
All right.
He
You know
is
what?
the
All right,
MVP.
sure. Whatever.
My nigga, dude, I love you, bro. Much respect, man.
All right,
Much
all right.
respect.
Silver
Wow.
sticker gets upgraded.
You get the MVP
Look
this
at
time.
Army. He's clawing around. He wants somebody to praise him here.
You know
All
what?
right.
You know what? He does get it. Raw isn't here. You're
Wow.
here. You get the MVP. You know what? That's the final say here.
Alright.
So let's give you some questions.
All right.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
I want to start off with the questions. How is the team's mindset going into this going into this match against Polarity, no longer having Poonpra in the mid lane and having Tejian? What was the focus really when approaching these games?
Honestly, we've never even played with each other yet, so like this is actually our first game. But our state of mind was just like we were just gonna do the same thing before. Like we're just gonna we honestly play a lot towards the top lane and mid lane, where our bot lane has a fair chance against their bot lane, and we just kept it simple. Just play to what we've been doing all season, you know.
Alright. Looks like Teji is a very comfortable fit so far. Are you guys gonna keep him mid lane and keep Poonpra jungle, or is what is keeping Kalun from being in this series?
I don't know, man.
Is he stuck? Or is he just
I honestly don't know what the situation is, huh? But I don't know. I think he's somewhere that he wasn't able to come to the game or something like that. I think that's what happened to whatever the dude's name is, Punex, Kaloon, whatever his name is. But
Completely
I don't know.
understood. I guess I'll drop my own question here. So Pun Pride for the past, let's say, 5 weeks has consistently won the MVP, and you were secretly fed not once, not twice, not 3 times, not even 4 times, but all 6 times of you secretly getting yourself way ahead. How does the process work with that? It's like somebody is right in front of you and getting all the attention, but yet you still keep you still keep yourself hot and you keep yourself ready to kill. So what is with that kind of mentality? Like, how does that work?
well, the way it is, like we got shot callers on the team where it's either the support who didn't play today, which was Cosmo or Pun Pride, and since he's the mid laner, he's gonna have the idea to focus his main mid lane first, because he always sees what he sees, for his mid lane, and that's a fair thing to say. And whenever his jungler gets there, he usually gets the kills, and he's pretty good at snowballing the lead and shit.
So, I gotta be honest with you. With the way that the MVP system has been going against you so far, Wah, do you think that next week you could possibly get yourself into the exact same position you have been? Because it feels like the system that you've been doing so far, as you mentioned earlier, you prefer to just, if we're winning, I don't have to do anything risky. And
Yeah.
that is basically a very strong mentality for the AD carry position as a whole. So, do you think you can even get another MVP next week?
Listen, man. If it happens next week, you're gonna see me here again next week. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. But like when I feel like I deserve something, I'm gonna make it known. You know what I mean? Maybe the last few weeks, I'm not gonna lie to you, I suck. But this today, that first game especially when you guys literally, y'all dudes literally mentioned Raji Biv, even though I was doing well the whole time in the game. It was like I'm 10-4, he's like 7-9. I like how this guy came and just like came out of nowhere and just snowballed his lead or some shit. It kind of, I'm tilted.
If you want my vote, you gotta get in here. You gotta like get to lane and take 4 shots while dancing. That's how you get my vote on Decimate Legacy.
At some point, I guess you guys want me to do a backflip or some shit, man. I don't know.
I'd love to see you do a backflip, dude. I would love to see you do a backflip.
Army pulls through for you, and I'm going to throw another question to you about your roster being swapped up a little bit. What was it like laning with Ares in comparison to laning with Cosmo Kramer that you've been laning with for the whole split so far, I guess?
Well, Ares and Cosmo is two different people. Cosmo is he's more like a whole team player type. He's more like a support for the whole team, or like he would leave lane whenever he sees that it's fine. He would leave. He'll tries to help mid and stuff like that. Ares is I feel like Ares is a better laner to deal with. Like we got a better communication. So like you've seen in the last few games where we just did pretty well in lane. We didn't really need help. We didn't really need jungle help. It was just mono to mono, and we were winning. But yeah, they have two different styles. But Ares is a better laner, and Cosmo is a better team. How do I say it? Playmaker. There you go.
All right. Well, that is all we will have time for now. Well, thank you very much. By the way, can you tell me how to pronounce the last part of your name?
Aisien.
Aisien?
Oh,
yeah.
Aisien. No, Aisien.
Hold on. Before we go, I gotta shout out some people. Shout out to Pump Ride for stepping up and like being a good shot caller. Shout out to Aries for being the support. Shout out to Teji. I don't know where he came from, but like, yeah. Shout out to Kobe for finally letting me just come in the room and get this MVP. Yeah. All right.
Well, you got your opinion heard, and you do get the MVP locked down for yourself. So you know what? Congratulations on that. We will see you in the next matchup, as well as we're closing into the playoff situation here. Thank you very much for stopping by before Raji Biv even got the chance to. See you
no
around,
problem, man. Have a good one, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll let you two close it out here. Again, sorry for overriding your guys' decision. I'm pretty sure you'll get me back for this later.
Yeah.
Oh, you damn right I will.
It's understandable. Juan's been playing consistent throughout the season. I'm certain there'll be more times for him to get MVP along with the rest of Decimate Legacy. But all in all, that has been the series between Decimate and Polarity. Decimate continuing their undefeated streak. They have, I believe, one more team to face before playoffs or something? Or I'm not fully in the loop about that, but they have only yet to face one other team as they've taken down 6 others. And as for me, Fred Ferguson, Army of Lloyd, and everyone here at Dewey Sports, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in next time.
Goodbye, everybody.